Hello, welcome to the first episode of Bricks and Banter, a Cope & Co podcast brought to you by the 4 original Copes.
Original. Yeah, there's a few more now.
There are a few more. We're going to talk about our history in the property industry, who we are, what areas we sort of cover, reason why we created this podcast, and just in general a little bit about ourselves. And
obviously the most important thing is to why we've rebranded to Cope & Co after 24 years under a different brand.
Yes. We have got the spinning wheel. We're not using it today, but it will be in future episodes of the pod. So we're going to go in chronological order of age. Oldest first. Darren.
Yeah, that's me, unfortunately.
Darren with 1R. Take it away.
Darren with 1R, yeah.
Darren.
So, yeah, my name's Darren Cope, obviously. Started in the property industry in 1991, working for a house builder. Accounts is my background, so the finance side of it. Became management accountant at an estate agent in Derby, who then took the franchise of Professional Properties. Susan and I bought that franchise and became 100% owners in 2007, although we did start it from, or Susan started it from 1999. I joined a few years later, and 24 years later, here we are. And it's gone quick.
So
it's gone very quick.
Yeah, so I'm 29 and he's 25.
Yeah, and
I'm
considerably
It's only 4 years.
I'm considerably older than you two.
Yeah.
So
you piggyback because you were just you were obviously with it, but you're a little bit younger.
Yeah, slightly. I'm just a bit younger. Yeah.
All right, don't dwell on it. Carry on.
Yeah, so I started obviously in 1999 when Annie was the ripe old age of 1. So
tough upbringing, didn't we?
Yeah, you've had a really tough upbringing. Yeah.
I actually spoke to a landlord today, just to chip in there, that has known you longer than I've known you.
Yeah.
Which he was
He really enjoyed saying that to you. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that is.
So anyway, it's fine. I started in 1999 and Professional Properties has been my life since then. So it's kind of really my life's work, and now, having the support of all of my family to do it, and my daughter-in-law, my work husband Simon, who's been with us 25 years. So he started with me 4 months after we started out. So we've got there's a lot of history there between us as well. So yeah, I'm really proud of what we've done, and I'm really proud of what we're going to become. I think probably prouder because I think you have to recognise times change and you've got to move with them, and I think this is a great thing to do. It's a fresh start, a fresh look at everything, and with some exciting new sides to the business to go on, alongside it.
I think one of the main reasons for the rebrand is the fact that you two are taking a more senior, influential role within the business. So perhaps you two need to tell us sort of where you slotted in and how long ago and what's
because it wasn't always the plan, was it?
No, I think it's just natural cause though, because I came into it when we were at the Poultry in Blacksmith's Yard. That was 10 years ago, 2013, July 2013. And to think how far far you would have come from when you started to how we are now is crazy. But thinking how far I've come, in terms of how we work, technological advances that we've integrated in. If you think about it, we've changed a hell of a lot. It's just the name hasn't really changed in that time. But I think we've always been quite adaptable, and I think it's obviously been a tough choice to change the name, and it's risk factor, isn't it? But I think we've all embraced it, and I think it's the right thing for us to do. But obviously, 10 years I've been here, worked in the letting side, went over to management side, and I've recently joined, most recently in the sales team since 2021.
And found your thing.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that's pushed it a little. The sales has definitely pushed it, because if we just carried on doing the lettings, we were obviously a niche company then. Not niche, specialised, probably the better word. We were specialising in lettings, that's it. Whether it's tenant, fire, rent, collect or manage, we were always we'd help whatever client we need to help them with. But I think because we've done the sales side, we're moving to block management. So it's like you need to get a.
We'll do a little bit of history in a minute when Annie's told us where she came in and
just
where.
One important point. Yeah. And you met your wife at work.
Yeah, I met Lucy at work. Yeah, Saturday girl. Yeah, Saturday boy and Saturday girl.
Saturday girl.
14, 15, I think we were at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15 years ago. Well, it was 15 years ago. Yeah.
15 years ago.
That's
but
wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and little Theo later.
Yes, little Theo later. Yeah.
Can he come on the pod?
We'll get him on.
Yeah.
He loves it.
So yeah, as Susan said, it was never the plan. I went to sixth form and then I kind of realised that I really enjoyed law, and I don't really know where it came. If I'm honest, I think it did come from watching Suits. But the whole difference is that Suits is actually American and it's glorified.
Not quite the same litigations over
not
here.
Really the same vibe. So but went to uni, did 3 years of my undergrad and then did a year postgrad. Loved it, would do it all again, but the work-life balance wasn't for me. And I also think now, having dealt with so many solicitors, I'm so glad that I didn't go into it.
Is this a better work-life balance?
I'd say so. I mean, yeah. I think the difference is that it's the passion for it, and you know it does lie within the fact that it's a family business, and like you said, it's your life's work. And
well, you two have grown up around it.
Well, yeah, and we're proud to carry that on. And I think that's the thing that I would never. That's kind of the satisfaction that I never would have got out of a legal job.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I started. I don't think it's even. I think it's probably just 3 years, if it has even been 3 years.
Can't believe that. I thought it was longer than that.
No. So yeah, and I went into actually worked in property management for about 2 weeks because not my forte, and then went over to student lettings, manned that, and then went into the lettings team, and I'm now operations director. So, which is really the bit that I think I thrive in.
I think we both gravitated towards very active roles to try and influence the business how we want to influence it, which is why I think we're both where we are now.
Well, I think the other thing is it's support, because like I said, to start off with, there were 4 of us working in professional properties.
Yeah.
You know, me, Simon, and then back in the day, Kelly and Lisa, and then people have come and gone, and obviously we've opened at the Burton office, which we are just reopening now, an outlet there.
I mean, there's now 4 plus in each team now.
Yeah, and I think the thing is as well, it takes a lot of to run a business. It's not just the day-to-day stuff, it's everything else that goes on in the background.
Yeah.
It's the planning, it's the HR, it's the legal side of things, it's the compliance.
Do you know what I really think, funny you say that, because I think when we've rebranded it, you it's mental to think what you need to change, what you've got to do. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like the pieces, the letterhead, everything, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I think you've just alluded to it, really, that you sort of touched on a few things there about where you came into it. So professional properties, 1999, we then opened or sort of took the student side out of that, and rebranded that with alumni homes, because professional properties didn't lend itself. It isn't the right name for student accommodation. It's completely the wrong name for student accommodation.
That was 2021, but I think the irony of that is I know full well that the name professional properties has been discussed within our family for so long.
Yeah.
So we took the plunge to kind of, I think it was less daunting, wasn't it, than doing a full rebrand? But that was kind of...
because the name's still there.
Really, the reasons are the same. The name professional properties does not lend itself to the ethos and the values that we've got.
No.
It's very corporate and, but ultimately, it is where the business came from, and that, we don't shy away from that, but...
And then you talk about the sales side as well. Again, we were recognised as a letting agent since 1999. We wanted... as part of the services that we offer, we wanted to offer a sales service, because the number of people that we've spoken to.
It just didn't look.
No, and the thing is, I think that yeah, you had a lot. We got a lot of clients who've been with us for a hell of a long time,
Yeah.
and they always, one-stop shop's probably the wrong word for it, but they always say to, we've had to over the years, do you do sales? And we didn't, obviously, back in the day.
Yeah.
But, you get so many clients now using, obviously, the sales service, gone from tenant find to manage because they want that service. And the name just didn't lend itself to those things because you're established for that long doing a specific thing.
So just to finish off the sort of the evolution, I suppose, is that you started James Cope Homes 2021, which was a sort of bespoke, more personal sales service, which sort of took off in the sort of Derby area. We then acquired, as a business, Amber Homes, which is an
established family
letting
sales
and
agent.
estate agent.
Yeah.
So they've been running 12 years,
based in Alfreton, started in 2012, which was a fantastic add-on for us. It really sort of helped us on the sales side and offering a sales service. So look at that in its entirety. You've got Professional Properties, James Cope Homes, Alumni Homes, Amber Homes. You just don't know which email. We don't know which email address to use to send out emails. You don't know which sort of logo jacket to put on in the morning, and it's one of the reasons why we've decided to do what we're going to do, because
this encompasses everything.
It does encompass everything. You can't effectively manage 4 brands and focus on 4 brands. We've done really well up to now, but we feel now this is the time. This is the point where we focus on one brand. We offer all the services, and we're only thinking about moving forward with Cope & Co.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's a logo, it's a brand.
The people are still the same.
The people are still the same. A lot of people that have been with us for over a decade, which in trust me, in this industry is quite rare, and they're as excited as we are. Yeah, is that what people have been telling us?
Yeah,
everybody is. Everybody's very up for it, aren't they? All the staff, very excited about it.
I mean, obviously, we had a podcast we created on the side, which was a name that was completely different to any business that we had, because there was no point in trying to explain to people who were listening now who you work for, because it was like a minefield. So I think that's why the main reason why we've branded it the same is because on here we can get the different
Cope & Co podcast.
Exactly, we can get the different people who work with us to come on here and show a bit of their personality. It's just an outlet for them to share their knowledge, their interest.
Yeah.
I think it's just a bit more of a relaxed and enjoyable way to kind of absorb information as
Communicate, yeah.
And I appreciate that's probably a bit of a generational thing, but I'd much rather probably sit and listen to a podcast than sit and read a blog, for example. Other people may not, but at least we've got those options. And I think, like you said, a really important part of our company is the people that are in it. And I said it to Laura actually yesterday, and after I said it I thought, oh God, is that actually a bit like, should I really have said that? But I genuinely feel that one thing that corporate agents don't have is the people that we've got, the people that genuinely care about where they work, genuinely care whether they make a mistake in the day, or like I have to turn around and tell people, like, it's fine, like, you're only human, just make a mistake, it is what it is. But they care that much that you almost have to like bring them back down to earth. And I genuinely think that that is something that we want to shout about, and I think the new name does reflect that. It doesn't just doesn't reflect the family, it reflects everyone else in the background that is just as important as
I think it just shows you, so we will touch on this in future podcasts, but we've had our first beers and ideas evening. So once a month we'll shut the office a little bit early on a Friday and just get everybody down in one room, have a couple of drinks and pizzas, and talk about ideas that the staff want to put forward. The point being, I was here at 4:00 ready to kick off, and went upstairs at 4:20, seeing where everybody was, and they're all upstairs still tying lets up. So that
Emma actually left mid-session.
To go and tie that.
Yeah, so it just shows how the people are. It's they're keen to actually do the job, even when there's beers and pizzas on the offer.
Yeah.
So that's brilliant.
we always say as well, you can't teach attitude, and it's so fortunate because we don't have to.
No.
And that does boil down to kind of who you recruit and who you
buys into what
everything,
we're doing.
But
I think it's the way you communicate with
invested.
people, though, because like the question I've always got asked over the years is what's it like working like family. And I know you said it before. I've always found it easier because you're talking to people on a level, and I think that irrespective of what supposed hierarchy we've had, we've got the same attitude if we're talking to each other or if we're talking to a member of staff.
People can't believe it.
It's just a way of communicating with that person rather than being in a formal way.
People think you're mad, don't they? When you say why would you want to work with your family?
Yeah,
and it's not a common.
Why would you not?
It's not a common thing, but it's not as though if we do talk about it out of work, it's always positive.
We have been talking about it a lot out of work.
Well, we have at the minute, but it tends to be always all the positive stuff, all the things about what we're going to do, and never all the sort of day-to-day stuff that you have to deal with day to day. So
yeah,
it is all positive.
Yeah, and I think
out of work.
The positive side is why we created this was talking about education for. It is more education for external people like vendors, buyers, tenants, landlords. But I think also it's a good way to. We're heavy on training here, but I think it's a good way to educate people who actually are in the business because it's again, like you said earlier, it's just a different way to take in information or read information or.
I think that's that as well. Sometimes it's very easy when you're a client looking from the outside in, to just get bogged down with the day to day. And I think maybe it was COVID that changed it. It certainly changed my outlook on lots of things. You both know that. Before that I was always, it's very, everything's got to be uniform, everything's got to be right, everything's got to be this. And now I just think you just got to let people be and be what they and remember that whoever you're talking to, whatever the be kind thing, all right, it's got forgotten after about 5 minutes, but be kind to people, be kind to each other, because what's the point otherwise?
Yeah,
it's so much easier to do that.
I think that obviously there's so many pressures in society nowadays. I think this will be a great outlet for us to remind everyone or show everyone how great the people are, and they are people. And everyone's intention is to help someone, and while sometimes that may be a bit contentious or it might not go the way that in your opinion it should have gone, one thing that I hope from this is you'll see that the people that we've got here are the people that want to and they want to do the best when they come to work, and
nobody ever deliberately sets out to cause anybody
exactly
any problems.
And I think that this will be a great outlet for that. Like you said, it kind of alludes back to getting personalities out there, and everyone is so different here, but it works.
I think one of the things, if anybody follows the social media, that channels that will start rearing up soon with the new branding,
Cope and Co.
You'll see.
What is it on Instagram? At Cope and Co _.
Yeah, I'm sure we can put all them up. But I mean, this has been my thing for ages, that if you create a better working environment, or the best working environment that you possibly can, then your team are happier, your productivity increases, and your customer service gets better. And as I say, when you see the sort of breakout room that the staff can use, and very, very relaxed, and an environment which we want them to thrive in, and that's the whole point.
I think one thing that's good about that area is that you spend a lot of time with your own team, because obviously we're in our own teams in the day.
Yeah.
And at lunchtime, obviously, not that whole team's not going to go on lunch at the same time. So you've got sort of one or two people, which I think is really good. I think that's been noticeable over the last sort of week or so.
Yeah.
So again, it's just
only had the ground floor open for a week, haven't we? So
I just keep hearing pool cues going and balls clattering.
We have a pool table
and a table tennis.
We have a table tennis table. We have a
and Josh has set up his Nintendo Wii.
We have a Nintendo Wii. And this is, we're
I might
actually.
cancel my gym membership.
He keeps trying to get this play, but Wii Sport tennis.
But where the office is, it's in a great spot with a load of parking, which landlords and clients love, as well as the staff. But when it comes to your lunch hour, there's very, there's hardly anywhere to go, and you see it in the past where people sit at the desk and look on the phone and eat the sandwich and then start working again. We wanted to give them. I think it's really important that when you have a break, you have a break.
Yeah.
You don't sit at your desk, because that's not a break. So this gives us the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, one thing that put me off going into the kind of legal industry was work-life balance, and I don't think work-life balance just comes from as in like your 9 till half
your hours. Yeah,
it's not just relative to your hours. It's relative to when you're actually at work. Do you like the people that you work with? Is it a nice environment to work in? When you get your break, what can you actually do in your break? Because, like you said, if you have an hour's lunch but you don't have anywhere to go and you just sit at your desk, you may as well not have an hour's lunch.
You don't reset.
Yeah, and I think that's
it's just like you've not answered the
important.
phone for an hour, or you've not pressed a keyboard for an hour. That's not resetting. You've got to leave. You've got to leave your workspace and do something else for a bit.
Yeah, I agree. You spend a hell of a lot of time with people you work with. Well, you spend more time with people you work with than you do anyone else, really.
But we don't.
Yeah.
No. It's different for us. I think that'll do it for this one. Then we'll go on to talk about obviously future episodes we've got coming up. We've got various tips and tricks. The wheel will be spun at some point in the near future. The wheel of death.
Yeah. So
do you want to run through it a little bit?
I was just going to confirm. I will.
It's the wheel of coke.
That anagram stands for what did you have for tea?
So the purple section is what do you have for tea?
And it's because Emma comes in every single morning.
Every day.
What do you have for tea? And every
goes
morning
round the
I think,
office.
I might just make something up. Because sometimes what I have for tea is really boring.
Yeah,
Did you go tell her he had a chip cob the other night?
Yeah, but she found that quite exciting,
Okay.
Yeah, so then we've got Cope
In
and
blue,
Co
we've got
news.
Cope and Co news alert. So we're going to talk about news in Cope and Co at that time.
Or industry news. We'll
It might
see.
just be industry news.
yeah. There's plenty of industry news going around.
Office shenanigans in the yellow section.
Shenanigans. What's that all about then?
Shenanigans in the office.
Ooh, can these be made public?
Some can
I
be.
think that's quite an ambiguous one, but I quite like that.
I feel like it's
You never know what's going
It's
to
a
come out of
nervous one.
shenanigans.
Yeah,
No,
I see.
if there's
Josh and
four people
Marie.
from the office down, it's going to get a bit nervy.
I see why you've put that in the big
Yeah,
yellow
we'll
section.
see.
FAQ of the week, most frequently asked question of the week. So that might be a bit of a
It'll be
serious
Scott,
one.
what we're having for lunch.
Well, we're thinking about external clients.
Yeah, I
asking.
actually thought from clients,
Oh.
like
Yeah,
stuff
not
that we
quite
get
internal.
asked most
that one?
often.
Property flashbacks.
So stories
Oh.
about properties and
Oh,
flashbacks
gosh.
about
Brilliant.
stories.
One of my favourite ones. We've got to use this. Is weirdest things left by tenants at the end of a tenancy.
I'm sure that'll come up.
That's a podcast in itself.
Just a quick disclaimer, property flashbacks. If you are listening to this and your property is mentioned, please do not be offended.
It won't be mentioned.
What do you have for tea? We've done that.
It doesn't,
Yeah, so that's it
doesn't
now.
relate
Just
to
go
you.
back
House
round
in the
again.
village somewhere.
Yeah, so that will rear its head in future podcasts, and it is meant to be a bit of fun.
Obviously, majority of people that have been here have worked in the industry for a bit of time, so there could be some absolute corking stories on there
Oh, there will be.
from it. Review of the week. So we're going to get the review of the week. If we get to that topic, we'll talk about that. Industry news, property industry news. Mortgage rates coming down.
Woohoo!
Might be.
Renters reform bill coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Loads of stuff.
again, they're podcast to themselves. But I think the point of this is, this is a podcast. It's supposed to be. I think our sort of tagline on this is listen, learn, laugh. You know, we don't want to spend 40 minutes talking about the renters reform bill in every single detail. We want people to listen. We want people to learn. But it's a bit of fun at the end of the day.
Well, I think you get some good general advice, some tips and tricks about weaving your way through the market, be it rental or buying, because it is a minefield, especially for landlords. So we get a bunch of different names and faces.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a weekly podcast.
And it won't be talking about ourselves moving
Oh, no.
forward. It'll be talking about.
No, that's just the first one. We're out the way. We're going to be out the way after this. You'll still see us, but we won't harp on about what
We won't
we've done.
see four of us together probably very
Probably
often.
not.
So yeah, it's a weekly podcast. We've also got like you mentioned earlier about beers and ideas. So
That just reminded me like the Von Trapp family and the
I
Sound
was
of
going to
Music.
say, we could actually do a Christmas one where we do sing Christmas carols.
Oh, we've got some cracking podcasts coming up. Honestly, I've got some cracking ideas. But yeah, beers and ideas,
Simon
end
in
of
the
the
bath.
month. Yeah, special monthly podcast talking about, get a bunch of guests on, all our guys that work here. And if you have got any questions or want to raise any topics,
Or you want to come on a podcast.
Yeah, as a guest, you can email us at bricksandbanter@copenco.co.uk.
I've got a few people in mind already.
Have
Get
you?
a little podcast invitation template going.
Okay. But we'll put that on the description along with all the social media, so you can follow us on there.
I've actually emailed Michael Gove.
Oh, yeah?
He's not replied yet.
No.
I'm not sure he's
I had a chat with him the other
willing
day.
He
to
said he
come
was
on.
very good the other day.
He was very good at the NRLA conference, yeah. But
He's a politician. He is good.
yeah, he's very good. But no, he's not
They all
replied, he's not
talk.
replied to me yet. So
The talk. Don't walk the
Yeah,
walk.
I'm waited with bated
And
breath.
on that note,
But yes, we'll leave it there. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for
And
asking us.
We'll get some other topics covered as again next week. I don't think there's any major industry news coming up.
Oh,
It's at that time of year.
Oh, there is. Yeah, I mean the next one. Just a heads up. The next one will be the renters reform bill with a bit of
Section 21 tweaking.
with
I
a
assume I'll
bit
be
of entertainment thrown
hosting
in.
that
Otherwise,
one then.
You'll be
you'll
in
fall
this
asleep, and that might be just me and Annie. We'll see. But the renters reform bill is
Yeah.
taking hold, so that will be up and coming soon.
We
when,
will
when
always
it actually means something and is passed.
Yeah, we will always link the blog page in, because we've got a absolute ton of blogs on loads of different topics to do with property. For
Yeah,
sale
check
and
the new
rent,
website
buyers.
out as well, 'cause
we'll
that's
link the
looking
website
really
in there.
good.
Yeah,
So,
every
please do
time
that.
there's a bit of industry news, we will do it in the form of a blog instead of talking about it for
Yep.
40 minutes on here, because that's not what this is for,
Right.
really.
But yes, thank you ever so much for listening, and see you next time.
Over and out.
bye.